Divisional weekend is here, and wild card weekend was unbelievable for us.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
what a weekend.
Love wild card weekend. And here at Bettor Laws, we loved it a lot.
Yes, we did.
We liked it a lot. 3-1 for me, 3-1 for you.
Yep.
Not a big deal.
And if you were following Twitter, I gave 9 plays across the board, including totals and money line plays for dogs, and went 7-2. So it was a very profitable weekend.
Yes. Hi. I'm Tuck Silva, joined alongside brother-in-law Matt Prisco, following Wild Card Weekend, which was amazing. Really was amazing. Overall, the podcast went 6-2. And you mentioned your Twitter plays there as well. I did not see that. I must say, because I was up away on a trip with friends. Had a good old time.
Yep.
So I wasn't really on the social media, if you will. But hey, if you have not been following us, you could have gotten those picks.
Could have.
You silly gooses. You need to be following us at Bettor Laws across all the socials. And obviously we're on YouTube and Apple, Spotify, wherever you want to listen or listen to a podcast or watch us on YouTube. Please subscribe. Please do that. So I inserted my picks for this divisional weekend early this morning. Not early, like 9 in the morning, because I have a show on at 10. So I don't have much time, after noon, really, because I got to shoot over here from Needham. So I get my picks in at around 9:30. And you come in here, walk in, you sit down, you insert your picks, and what's the thing you just told me?
They copied you.
No. You said that we are completely aligned.
100% aligned.
For the first time in Bettor Laws history, we have quad likes.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. We got 4 games, and we're trying to give you 4 likes still. And
yeah, but listen, we're not going to give out any plays that we don't like.
Yeah.
And if we like these likes, we're going to go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter if they're double likes. We're not going to...
even better.
We're not going to audible and change it up.
Yep.
This is what was put on the spreadsheet at different times, and this is what we're going to roll with. This is a first in podcast history. So I'm very much looking forward to this, because this could either be extremely great for us and our listeners, or this could be a fucking disaster that we're completely aligned like this. Let's just call it like it is.
I agree. And I will say that the best bets are different, right? So the best bets are different.
Different best bets.
So I obviously like yours and you like mine. So
yeah,
I think we're in total alignment here. We looked at other totals and tried to figure out, is there anything you like a little more? No.
Yeah. Let's just run right through it, because so since we only have 4 games, we're going to stray away from we kind of did this last week too, but it's going to be even more so for this week. We're just going to stray away from our typical format of giving out 4 likes, going through the rest, and then giving out the best. We're just going to run through it, start with the first Saturday game, right through the final game on Sunday. So do you have any final thoughts before we move ahead?
No, I just wanted to do a quick recap for the folks. I know you said we went 3-1.
Yeah, if you want to,
best
run
bets.
through the exact bets we gave out.
Yeah, I'll do that. Last weekend, Wild Card Weekend, Tuck, you said it, 3-1 for each of us. You hit a best bet. I hit a best bet.
I did. 1-0 in the playoffs.
There we go. And that's why we keep that separate. I was going to call that out for you. That's why I wanted to do the recap. You're back on the winning streak.
You can alter numbers however you want.
Exactly. So that's what we do here. No, kidding. But Chiefs, -4, easy winner. That cold was just too much for Miami. It was honestly just unfair. And,
honestly, they didn't have a fucking chance.
They didn't. They couldn't do
from
anything.
the get-go.
Couldn't do
Not
anything.
a chance. Nope.
So easy winner there, -4. Nice play. Easy.
Horrible
winner.
game. Horrible
game.
Oh God, it was such a
boring.
downer when we were all watching it.
Yeah, it was just boring.
It was just it literally turned after the first quarter, it turned into a fishbowl.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
or fish tank. Excuse me. It was on in the background.
Yeah. I mean, and it's too bad because those teams 2 decent enough teams to see in a playoff game. Like I was kind of excited for the matchup on paper when it first came out, and then you hear about the weather, and you're like, oh boy, we know where this is headed.
Obviously, the first thing you think of is offense.
Yeah,
but there was none of that, considering that the Dolphins are A, banged up, and B, frozen.
Yeah,
and I don't know why they didn't practice ahead of time in the cold. That's a boneheaded move by Mike McDaniel, but hey, it's a learning experience. Young coach. And I'm sure he's going to, keep that in his back pocket or the back of his head for next year if he's going into a cold weather game, period.
They left Miami, I read. It was 80 degrees. They got to Kansas City. It was -1. I mean, that's literally 81-degree difference.
Did they leave on, like, Friday? Is that what it was? Because the game was Saturday, right?
They left Friday. Whatever it was,
that's
80-degree difference.
I'm sorry. That's just dumb.
Crazy.
Like, not to, like, call out the greatest coach of all time with Bill Belichick, but Bill would have been out there probably Thursday, honestly.
Yeah, try to get acclimated. I understand that.
Yeah. So, All right, we'll run through the rest.
Yeah, so that was best bet winner. Your loss was the Steelers game, +10. They kept it close. I thought they were actually going to backdoor that cover. I know that you got something to bring up on this game, so
that one was frustrating. Because they were, right before the half, they were at the, 15, 10, something like that. Mm-hmm. And Mason Rudolph just had a boneheaded turnover. But that would have brought him within 7 going into the half.
Yep.
I still like the play, honestly. I still like the play. I thought the Steelers kept it closer than a lot of people, than the score dictates. It was a lot closer.
They did
than that. I thought
they sure did.
It took a freak play from Josh Allen to scamper for a 52-yard run too. I mean that tipped to him, obviously,
100%.
but that was a freak play. I don't know. I still like the play Steelers +10, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, hey, it was a close game. They were covering in the fourth quarter at one point. So
yeah.
And as someone who had a Bills ticket at the end of the day, I was nervous. I was not. It wasn't the easiest bet I made all week, and I'll say that.
Yeah.
I felt it when they went up 21-0, but no, was not. You had the Rams +3.5. That was my best bet, but that also was a play for you. Winner, Bucks Eagles under 44. Jesus. We'll get, I guess, Philly.
That
Philly
team,
loss. My God.
That Philly team
quit
weeks ago, Matt.
Yeah.
They quit fucking weeks ago.
But to not show up in a playoff game and to think like,
with an extra day of rest, mind you.
These guys just... the regression out of Jalen Hurts this year was massive. The defense was just couldn't tackle. That was eye-opening. Like, and I know it was over the last month and a half, but like, what happened to that defense? Like, they were tired. They looked old. I mean, you go in a Super Bowl run.
Philly was one of the best defenses in the NFL last year, and they got off to a good start this year. And then I don't want to pin it all on Matt Patricia, but obviously he's a factor when he took over the play calling duties. But all season, that defense has just not been good.
It was. Just
I don't know what
weird.
happened.
You see Goddard yelling at Hurts on the sideline.
What is going on? Okay, what's going on there? What's going on with Jalen Hurts in general? Because his attitude all season has been diva-ish. It's been babyish. Feels like there's immaturity issues still there, but I don't understand what happened from a year ago to this year. I don't know what changed with that guy, but it seems like his teammates do not like him anymore.
Yeah, it does seem that way. He tries to show the no emotion no matter what happens. Not too cool, nothing's too much for him. You know, nothing's too.
He seems like he's like too cool for school. Right?
Yeah, and I think that can rub you the wrong way when like things are going bad. Like sometimes you need to get in people's faces and be a motivator, and he just doesn't say anything.
Okay,
I don't know.
So I have a feeling that he shut down, and his teammates saw him shut down after that Niners loss, let's call it.
Something happened in that game. I mean, they were 10-1, Tuck. We talked about it on the show. And we did, and to our credit, we came in here, and I remember specifically calling them lucky, even though they were 10-1 and talented. We buried Minnesota for this last year about being the luckiest team, winning all these close games. And then they get to the Niners game, and they just get buried. And not to say it broke them, but like, something happened there.
Yeah.
Like, they could not get back on their feet. Like, losing to teams like the Giants and Arizona. I mean, games they would have never lost early in the year. I don't know what happened. It's inexcusable, really.
I feel like if there hasn't been already, and I haven't really been looking into, like, the Eagles stuff just because it's been so, like, Patriots news heavy lately with obviously the head coaching change and all that. But it feels like more details are going to leak out about the Eagles team, about what the hell happened. I don't know. What the hell happened?
I love it, though.
But
love it.
That arrow is not pointing in any particular direction going into next year.
Nope. Don't like that.
Maybe down?
Don't like. They got to figure it out. I don't know how. But they needed that offense back on track because it wasn't just the defense either. 9 points. I don't care if A.J. Brown was playing or not. 9? Not to mention the coach is a total bozo. That plays a part. And I know he's won like 11 games, 3 straight years. What the hell he's done? Went to the Super Bowl, but like he lost his 2 coordinators, and it seemed to show at the end of that year. So, I don't know. He's going for 2, Tuck, when they were down 7 because they had an offside just from the 1. And I get you can run that. What are the friggin' they call it? The Philly special. Well, not the Philly special.
Tampa stopped.
Which I loved. That was my favorite part of the whole game.
The tush push or whatever.
The tush push,
the Philly, why the hell am I blanking on it?
I don't know. I am too. Whatever the hell it's called. Because it's stupid. That's why.
Well, I loved
they stuffed it.
Seeing Tampa stuff that at the goal line.
Took a point off the board. He took a field goal off the board as well. In that
the brotherly
game.
shove.
Thank you. That's what we wanted. He took 4 points off the board. He's just a moron. And like the game was, you kick the extra point, you go down 6. You went for 2 to go down 5. That makes absolutely no sense, regardless if you can do it or not.
So in terms of my pick with the under there, what was that? 44.5? Is that what it was?
You had a 44.
44. Yeah. I mean, I said last week, I was just like, I mean, look what's going on with Philly. Like that offense is going to struggle, A, with what's been going on, and B, the loss of A.J. Brown. And sure enough, yeah. But were we sweating a little bit? Sure. Because Tampa kept putting up points.
Well, they kept putting up points, and then Sirianni...
All right, stop.
I found it funny that they covered by 3, and Sirianni took 4 off the board for you.
Yeah.
It's a nice play.
Yeah.
Nice hit.
All right, well, there you go. And just run through your last couple of picks.
Yeah, best bet for me, 3, the Rams, 3.5, winner there. Houston, +3, winner there. Outright, Green Bay, +7.5, winner there. And then I fell for the Philly shit. So, 3-1 week for me. So both of us 3-1 and 1-0 on best bets in the playoffs. So combining that with the regular season standings, Tuck, you are now 51, 41 and 1 on the year, 6 and 13 on best bets. I am 51, 40 and 2 on the year, 16 and 3 on best bets.
All righty, well there you go with the wild card weekend. Let's pray that momentum carries over into our divisional round, especially considering the fact that we have identical picks, like I mentioned earlier in the podcast, which could be good or a fucking disaster.
It's going to be great.
Well, I feel good. I feel really good.
I actually do too. This card for a divisional game is actually playable. So sometimes you get to it's very sharp time, so you got to be careful. But like, I feel good about this card.
I feel similar to what I did last week when the card came out. Like it took me a while to get to these picks. I'll say that. Like it was a lot of thinking, but I feel confident. I feel pretty good about it. So with that being said, let's move ahead to the divisional round. And let's start with the first Saturday game, 4:30, Texans. The Cinderella story, the Texans go on the road to take on the number 1 seed, Baltimore Ravens, coming off a bye week. 9.5 point spread here. Point total on this one is 43.5. Why don't you take it away with our first double like, if you will?
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans. I'm taking the points. I'm taking the Cinderella story to continue here. Maybe not win outright, but I think this is a real chance. There's a live dog here, and the Texans have an opportunity to win this game.
Outright. You do? Okay, I don't feel that way.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm not saying they're going to win, and I'm not betting the money line here. So just to be clear, but I think there is an opportunity for them to win this game. So 9.5 is too many points. Look, I made this game 6.5, so we're getting a good amount of value there through a key number of 7 for me. So I play my numbers. I will admit I probably have Houston power rated a lot higher than a lot of people do, so that's fine.
Rightfully
but
so.
I trust them.
Rightfully so.
With C.J. Stroud, and I know he's been a better quarterback at home, just like any other young team is. They play better at home, and I know this is on the road. But, man, C.J. Stroud played a road playoff game in Week 18 against the Colts on the road, and then he just destroyed this Cleveland defense like we told you he was going to do because Cleveland on the road was fraudulent, and he picked them apart. But, man, he does not look like a rookie. I'm sorry, he just doesn't.
No.
That team, sometimes you get hot, right time, Cinderella shoe. This is a dangerous spot for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson 1-3 as a playoff quarterback. So, they've come in as the 1 seed before and get knocked off in the first game under Lamar, so that's already happened. Lamar Jackson as a favorite, Tucker, of 3.5 points or more is 42% in his career.
Wow. Okay? Wow.
That out of rankings is 174th out of 185 QBs during that time.
I'm sorry, 184th?
174th out of 185 QBs during that time,
Holy
during
crap.
that stretch.
What a stat.
ATS.
Love it.
As a favorite of 3.5 or more. And when he's a favorite of 7.5 or more, which qualifies here, he is 1-8 in the last 3 seasons. And that is, in general, outside of the 3 seasons, for his career, he's also 42%. So this team has a dog of 7 or more. I mean, they don't cover the number. Like, they win these games, but not by this number, right? I think when they get there, we've seen the Lions game, for example, earlier this year when they were 3-point favorites and they routed them, 36 whatever. He beats the Seahawks as a small favorite at home, and they routed them. The thing about Lamar, and I've said this for a long time, is that you see the dominance against the NFC because they don't see him as often. Well, not only did Houston see him, they played him already this season. It was Week 1 in a 25-9 game. It was C.J. Stroud's first game. It was in Baltimore. And the Texans' defense held them to 25, with the Ravens being as healthy as they've been all season, right? Back when they had Mark Andrews healthy, back when they had J.K. Dobbins, back when they had all their weapons fully healthy at the beginning of the year. So now, look, this Ravens team's awesome. They've been clicking on all cylinders. Bye week, well-rested. I get it, but the Texans also get a full week playing Saturday to Saturday, so full week of rest for them. Look, we saw Davis Mills last week. So Stroud didn't have to play max effort. They played pretty much one half of football on offense. They came out in the third quarter, put the Browns away, and called it a day. So I think the Texans are well rested for a team that played Saturday. They didn't exuberate any extra energy. I expect this game to just be a close game. I think Stroud keeps it close. You're basically telling me, giving me 9.5. If the Texans are down 16 at the end of this game, we have an opportunity to cover. Right, like a touchdown, they probably go for 2 in that scenario. But that said, you could be down 16 and backdoor this at the number it is. So give me the Texans to cover the 9.5. It's too many points for me here. I'm taking the C.J. Stroud and the young Texans to put up a good fight and potentially be a little bit closer than Lamar wants. That pressure of being a playoff quarterback and winning in the playoffs is night and day difference than being the number 1 seed and winning the regular season. That's all I'm going to say.
Now, call me crazy. I don't know if I'm just pulling this out of my ass, but don't the Ravens have a history, or Lamar or Harbaugh or somebody in that organization? Don't they have some sort of a bad record coming off of a bye? Isn't there some sort of a history there? I couldn't find anything about it, but my memory is just wait, this team kind of sucks coming off a bye. I don't
Possibly.
know. Maybe I might be
it.
completely making that up.
Possibly. I honestly don't know. I didn't come across anything like that.
I didn't either. So. But I don't know. I just thought I would throw that out there. But yeah, no, I'm totally on the same page with you on that one. And I feel like this 9.5 for the Ravens is incredibly square, if you ask me. Because everybody's going to be like, number 1 seed. The Texans' road is coming to an end here. Look what they did to the Texans in Week 1. 25-9 loss, but you got to throw everything out from that first matchup, the very first game of the year. We're gonna go back to that? No, absolutely not. Not only was it C.J. Stroud's first game, but look at how young that team is. In general, it's so. The other part of this is that I really like what I'm seeing from DeMeco Ryans when they face a team a second time.
Yeah,
he corrects their errors.
Yep.
We've seen that throughout this year. So now you get in the Ravens for a second straight time. I don't know what Mark Andrews' status is. He was designated to return from IR. I guess there is a chance he does play. honestly, it doesn't move the needle for me much.
Nope,
it really doesn't. In terms of the Ravens defense, this is a unit that has had as many interceptions as it has allowed passing touchdowns with 18. Thought that was kind of interesting. I think this is a difference of maximum a touchdown, and I think that the Texans can keep it relatively close. I think that this line screams that they're getting disrespected here, and that's going to resonate in the locker room, if you ask me.
Totally agree. I think Baltimore is a public play, as you said before. I think the pros are going to be on Houston.
I was talking to somebody today who's not like an experienced bettor. I'm not like a professional bettor by any means, but I'm just giving you like what a average bettor is thinking. And he was just like, yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing a parlay with the Ravens and the Niners.
Yeah, be careful.
I'm like,
here we go.
Well, that's where they clean up.
Yeah.
You're going to bet both number one seeds in a parlay to cover?
That's crazy.
Similar spreads? Like, what are you doing?
Even if it hits, like, that's a stupid bet to make.
No, it's a stupid bet, so don't do that.
Yeah, parlays in general, be careful.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my point. It's just like, this is super square if you're taking the Ravens. That's me. That's all.
Yeah.
Love the Ravens team. You know, they probably win the game, but I think the Texans can cover 9.5. It's as simple as that.
Yep, same.
43.5. That is
scary.
That is very scary.
I want to. It's
I don't want to go
down
anywhere near that.
It opened 46.5, and I was loving the under. I know it's easy to say as it's come down the field goal, but now I'm kind of liking the over. I mean, it's getting to a point now where it's like, all right, 43.5. Like, this would be a 24-20 game, pretty easy.
Yeah, where did it open?
46.5.
46.5, and it's not
a cold day in Baltimore, but not like anything too crazy from what I've seen.
Like, I mean, I'm staying away from it, but
yeah, same though.
That's just no thanks, no thanks on that one. Any final thoughts on this game? Any players that stand out to you, and anything like that?
Good question, Tuck. No. I'll say this. Nico Collins has just been unbelievable for Houston, really stepping up into a wide receiver one. He is awesome. He is a problem.
Yeah.
And talk about a guy, if you want to go back to week one to where he is now, like that alone's a difference. I wish they had Tank Dell for this game. I'd feel really good with 9.5 and Tank Dell being
honestly
across from Collins. But
with the way this team is playing, if they had Tank Dell, I would be hitting them to advance to the Super Bowl. I'm dead serious. If they were full caliber, ready to go, yep, I think they're worth a sprinkle. But I can't now because I think Tank Dell's such a huge playmaker, and they're going to fall at some point. They're not going to the Super Bowl.
They'll probably fall this week. Realistically, I think Houston has a chance though for a 9.5-point dog. You know, I think there's a chance they can win this game. I don't see it happening.
I mean, if they somehow could somehow could find a way to beat Baltimore in Baltimore, that would be a story to be told for forever.
The CJ.
That would be a legendary feat.
The CJ Stroud talk will be going.
Oh yeah,
top 5 quarterback right now. You'll hear it all.
Absolutely, yeah. You know? But so double like there, plus 9.5 for the Texans. Saturday night game, San Francisco 49ers, also 9.5-point favorites here. Point total is 50.5. Green Bay Packers coming off a ballsy win. I don't care what anybody says about the history of the Dallas Cowboys and how much they choke. That Cowboys team was legit. Yeah, they fell flat in their face. Absolutely 100%. And I said it last week. They were probably the team with the most amount of pressure on them that past weekend. And I think that resonated. That came to be true. Yep. You could see that they could not deal with the pressure of that game in front of their home crowd. But nonetheless, ballsy win by the Green Bay Packers and that young team. Matt LaFleur was phenomenal. Came up with a phenomenal scheme. Young pass catchers, you name it. Jordan Love continues to just deliver.
Yeah.
It's all coming to a close this week. They're going to get steamrolled by the 49ers.
Okay.
This could be a 2-touchdown game, honestly. It's a like for me. Why don't you just give out your best bet?
It's my best bet. It's the Niners minus 9.5, whatever you want to call it. I see both, so whatever I don't care. It's under 10. I love it. This is just a perfect spot for the 49ers. And let's start by taking a look at Green Bay, right? You just talked about it, right? Last week, I came in here, I had the Packers plus 7.5. I said they matched up well against Dallas. I didn't realize how well they'd matched up against Dallas.
Really well.
I mean, Jesus. That said, they do not match up well against San Francisco. The Niners have an absolute mismatch here against the Packers linebackers. The Packers linebackers, Tuck, flat out cannot cover people. They give up over 80% reception rate on the season. According to Pro Football Focus, PFF, they are not a top 4. They're not top 40 in pass defense. They're not top 40 in run defense.
Just the linebackers.
The linebackers specifically for positioning
sure.
in the NFL. Neither are top 40 against the pass or the run.
Wow.
And guess what the ultimate mismatch, seeing Kyle Shanahan, he knows that.
George Kittle.
Debo.
Look what Ferguson just did.
Look what they'll do. They'll put Ayuk in the slot. They'll put Debo in the slot. They'll put McCaffrey in the slot. Oh, by the way, you can't stop the run. Good luck to you. This has been the same story year after year after year with the Green Bay Packers against the Niners. A couple years ago, NFC Championship game, everyone was like, oh, my God, Garoppolo only threw 8 passes. Why would he throw? I was mad he threw 8. They couldn't stop him. It was just like, what are we doing? Just pound it right down their throat, and they'll do it again. They're going to continue to run down their throat. They're going to throw over the middle because they can't stop it. They'll control the game there. This line, Tucker, should be 12, 13 points.
I agree.
We're getting so much value based off of what Green Bay did last week. And again, kudos to them. It was an amazing win. All the respect in the world to Jordan Love, who, let's give him his due. He is the next quarterback for the Packers, right? We've seen what he's done. He's taken a jump. He is there. If you're a Packers fan, you've got to just be thrilled. You went from Favre to Rodgers to Love, and this is season 1 for Jordan Love.
This is how you transitioned from a quarterback.
They did it perfect. They're well coached.
Twice.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I'm sorry, though. This matchup's just tough. San Francisco ranks higher in yards per game, passing yards per game, rushing yards per game, points scored per game, yards allowed per game, third down conversion rate, overall points per game. I mean, it's just insane. Every number you look at, the Niners are just a better team. We know that. The Niners, they cover double digits at home as much as anybody. Now we're getting under double digits. It's just a steal of a number. Anything under 10, play it immediately. Don't worry if it's 9, 9.5. Even at 10, I still like it. I think they'll scheme something up to stop Jordan Love. This team stopped Aaron Rodgers in his prime. Aaron Rodgers, for years, could not beat the 49ers. It's just one of those things that Kyle Shanahan knows how to beat Matt LaFleur. Just like he takes care of Sean McVay, Matt LaFleur worked with him. He knows what LaFleur wants to do. He knows how he's going to operate. They'll take care of that. The Packers at this point should be very happy with what they've done. I was actually talking to a Packers fan in the bar the other day after that game, and he was like, I'm just so happy to be here, and I can't believe we won this game. And it's
bonus.
He even said, we're going to get blown out by the Niners next week. And I said, I think you're right, and I know I'm a Niners fan, but I just don't like the matchup for you. But they're a young team. Second round, beating the Cowboys in Dallas that's a win and a half for them. But you have a young team with that type of win coming in. It's a terrible spot. That's a young team that's going to come in on a short week, nonetheless, to San Francisco, who's had 2 weeks off for the most part. Most of their players did start the game against the Rams, but only played a quarter just to get some reps in. So for the majority of the 2 weeks, guys like Kittle, Purdy, Trent Williams, these guys didn't play and very well rested at home. The one last thing I'll say, just alluded to it with the Packers, you've won a playoff game. You're in the final 8 here, final 4 in your conference. That is an absolute win for you.
Absolutely.
For San Francisco, it's Super Bowl or bust.
People are picking the Packers to finish last in that division.
Exactly. And this is Super Bowl or bust. And what San Francisco's endured with this same team in this roster, with those guys there will be no letdown. There will be foot on the gas this week, next week, and so on as long as they go. Give me the Niners big. I'm talking I think they get close to dropping a 40-burger on the Packers' terrible defense, who just gave up 30-something to the Panthers a couple weeks ago.
510 yards against the Cowboys. And I know that the Cowboys were playing from behind, but still, You just allowed 510 yards.
Jake Ferguson had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
George Kittle's smiling.
So I agree with you on all of the above. I mean, please, they're going to score first, and it's going to be off to the races. The Niners are well rested, 2 weeks now, if you include week 18 and obviously the bye week. They're going to show up and they're going to fucking destroy. I really believe
totally
that.
Agree.
They're going to get after Jordan Love and make an inexperienced quarterback uncomfortable on the road. This is why you traded for Chase Young. Both Bosa and Young are going to be beasts. Just to throw some spread stats at you, the Niners are 6-0 straight up and 4-2 against the spread when favored by 10 points or more. They're 13-2 ATS in their last 15 home games played in January. 11 of the Niners' 12 wins this season were by double digits, and the only one that missed was the late meaningless field goal from the Rams earlier on in the season there. Last season, not that this really matters, but just to put it in perspective of how much Kyle Shanahan's going to have his team ready, they were favored by 9.5 points versus the Seahawks last week, and they won by 18.
Yeah. Let me ask you a quick question, Tuck. With this line, right now most places 9.5, so that's the number we'll take across the board. I'm fine with that. So, look, 9.5. Dallas was favored by 7.5. Do you think San Francisco's 2 points better than Dallas, or how many more points better than Dallas? I mean, they beat them 42-14.
4.5, 5.
I think, exactly. So that's what I have them power rated. It's about a 5-point difference. So, look, this line is wrong. You're getting free points here. Anything under 10 is just a gift.
Yep.
So thank you. Take it to the bank. We'll try to go 17-3 on best bets.
Yes.
In 20.
Burying the lead there. I know we usually save best bets for last, but again, we're going through just 4 games and we're just running right through them in order. So Matt's best bets this year, 16-3. 16-3. Now I have people texting me and being like, holy shit.
Yeah, same.
So, I'm again, totally aligned with this. I'm also on the Niners. 9.5, clearly Matt's best bet. There you go on that one.
That's fandom aside, by the way. I always say that when I take the Niners. I would happily take the points against them.
He does never bets with his heart. I will give you that in terms of the Niners. You faded the Niners before.
Many times.
Yeah. So call it like it is. Just real quick, just thinking in terms of daily fantasy, rank the pass catchers for the Niners in this one.
Pass catchers.
Yes.
Oh boy, this could be tough because I think they're going to. I think it's going to be a run-heavy run first.
So my thinking, like McCaffrey's obviously going to be in my lineup.
He's also going to be a lead pass catcher in this game because they're going to match him up against linebackers.
Kittle's 5,200. We just talked about how the Cowboys destroyed the Packers in terms of with Jake Ferguson there. So Kittle's really attractive there. Mm-hmm. Deebo Samuel, he's been kind of quiet-ish, but that's because of the rest, I think, more so. But he went on an insane stretch there. So
I think McCaffrey, Kittle, Deebo, Ayuk in that order. And I love Ayuk.
That's me too.
I love Ayuk, but I think Ayuk will... I think Jair Alexander, they'll try to lock Ayuk down, which I don't think they're going to lock him down. I think they'll have a nice battle. I think Jair will win some matchups. Ayuk will win some matchups, but I don't think they'll need to go to Ayuk as much in this game.
Honestly, I might do...
It's kind of the scheme play.
It's going to be expensive, but I really am going to look into lineups with McCaffrey, Samuel, and Kittle.
Yeah.
Kittle's so affordable. 5,200.
Yeah, it's a steal.
Yeah.
For this game, I mean, again, Jake Ferguson just had 3 timeouts, 3 touchdowns.
Purdy's cheap, too. 6,300, 6,400, something like that on DraftKings. I'm just saying. We're just talking shop in terms of DFS. That's all.
It's a good price. I still think they'll be run heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Deebo is a run guy.
Yeah, you can get him in the run game going.
Yep.
Short passes.
He's expensive, though.
It's just how you beat the Packers. That's what they do every year against the Packers. They run, play action, see ya.
Now, in terms of the Packers, though, any fear of Aaron Jones? Because he has looked good since coming back from that hamstring injury.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it at all.
Okay.
I'm just not. Aaron Jones has played well against the 49ers in his career. Like, decent enough, I'll say that. He's probably been the most consistent Packer other than when they had Devontae Adams. That said, it hasn't helped them in the least. Like, the Niners get Eric Armstead back, a huge win for them. He didn't play for like the last 5 games or so for them. It's just another piece. Their defense is as healthy as they've been. I mean, I just think it's a terrible spot for Aaron Jones because I fear for him that if San Francisco scores first, you got to stay true to the run. Like, what Green Bay was able to do was use Aaron Jones early on in that game, and it opened up the pass game. If you let the Niners get out and you're like, here we go again, how much do you quickly abandon the Aaron Jones game? And then it's on Jordan Love and his shoulders. Not that he hasn't been playing well, because he has, but when it's one-dimensional, it's a different ball game.
You know they're going to try and run and establish the run quick.
100%.
But
and the Niners
Shannon's
going
to be banking on that. Yeah, exactly.
Ready for it.
I'll keep an eye on that point total, by the way, 50.5. If that comes below 50, I might hit that. Yeah. He's pointing up, by the way.
Over 40
for you podcast listeners,
or even the camera. Was the camera on me there? Up,
over. Well, there's 3 friggin' cameras here. I'm pretty sure one of them is on you.
Well, you never know what the video is.
I'm saying that nobody can hear your finger going.
I didn't want to talk over you. You yelled at me in week 5. I haven't forgot about that.
In week 5. No, it's fine if we overlap each other. I'm just saying.
I do. I like the over in this. This is one of the totals that I think is going up, and I think it's supporting the Niners putting up so many points. The one fair, and the reason it's not on the card, is if the Niners just run the ball so much that just continues to eat the clock away. That's
like if it really gets in blowout territory, which I don't know if it's going to be a huge blowout. I will say that. I think it's double digits, but I don't know if it's like a huge blowout. But if for some reason it were, you're probably going to be seeing a lot of Eli Mitchell in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, hope so.
Yeah,
Jordan Mason just running.
Yeah, exactly. So, any final thoughts on that, or can we move ahead to Sunday?
I guess we can move ahead to Sunday. I'm just very excited.
Yes.
I'm very excited for this game. That's all. And
you sound very excited.
I just want to say that we're one step closer to that Bills 49ers plus 2,200 Super Bowl bet I gave out on this show. I just want to say it.
I think that's a real possibility.
We shall see.
All right, let's go ahead to Sunday then. Detroit, 6.5-point favorites here, coming off a gritty win for their first playoff victory in 84 years. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, it's once or twice, I think it was on the broadcast. Jesus Christ.
What was the actual year? Was it like 33 years?
1937. I don't know. I know. It was
like 30 years, whatever. Let's call it 30 years. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was 33 years. Point total in this one is 48.5. And I have a like here, as do you. Give me the Lions minus 6.5 on this one. I'll start. The Bucs were not challenged whatsoever by the Philadelphia Eagles last week. They faced absolutely no adversity at all, besides that one drive in the second quarter where Devontae Smith had a deep haul. That was pretty much it.
Yep.
They played a broken team in the Eagles. We talked about it earlier. And now they're going on the road, lose a day of rest, mind you, given they played on Monday Night Football. I think that the Lions are going to be all sorts of jacked up, and they have that monkey off of their back in terms of winning that playoff game that everyone has been craving for years and decades there in Detroit. Very happy for them. And they're going to keep that going. They're going to be loosey. They're going to be goosey. And I think Goff is going to have a hell of a game here. These two teams, they met in week 6 in Tampa, and the Lions won 20-6 on the road. A couple of notes on that game. Goff had 353 passing yards with a pair of touchdown passes. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 12 catches, 124 yards, and a touchdown. And Goff is now going back to Ford Field to play the same team, and he has 107.9 passer rating at home this season. As a reminder, Tampa Bay, they could not run the ball in the first matchup whatsoever in Tampa. White had 7 carries, 37 yards, 3.7 yards per carry. It's also worth noting that the Lions, they did not have Jahmyr Gibbs in that matchup.
That's correct.
Major difference maker, if you ask me, clearly. And I think this is a big Gibbs game. I do. I understand that Tampa, they're 8-3 against the spread as an underdog, and they're 8-1 ATS on the road. I'm throwing that out the window for this one. I think that the Lions can win by a touchdown. They're going to be all sorts of jacked up. Aiden Hutchinson's going to be a beast. He's going to be a monster in front of this home crowd. Baker Mayfield, great story all season. He's going to get a nice contract in the offseason. It's coming to a close for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's another public-ish play in terms of getting Tampa in the points here, just because seeing what they just did to the Eagles and how they've ended the season really on a strong note. But Detroit's going to the NFC Championship game, and they're going to do so by a touchdown. Lions -6.5.
Agreement here, but I don't love it. We're given 4 picks today. I feel real good about 3. This game, I could see go either way. Now, I am going to give you a little revisionist history because we just talked about my best bet and how I am 16-3 on the season. Well, I just need you to understand that 2 of the losses involved were Tampa Bay. This team, I just want them out of the playoffs because it's like they're I don't know how to bet them all year long. I had them
frustrating team to bet.
I had them as a best bet to cover 2.5. And they lost, they lost outright to to Atlanta. So that was one of my losses. The other one was I had the Saints as a best bet, and they came in and beat the Saints. Yeah. So 2 of the 3 losses were involved to Tampa Bay. Yep. And then last week, the pricks stopped me from a 4-0 perfect week. So I just need this team out of there. Baker Mayfield, if I bet against you, you are like a top 3 quarterback in the league. And if I bet on you, you are, the bottom 3 quarterback in the league. So I don't love this game, Tuck. I just want to say, I think it's a lot of points.
I agree with you there. I would say in terms of ranking of picks, this is probably come in last.
100% for me.
Yeah. I admit that.
I'm still betting it. And I did bet it before the show because I do bet all my things. It was the last one. The 3 other ones I came in confidently, heavily bet, happy, ready to rock and roll. This one, I could see going either way. It was, I really could. But for the show purposes, I like 6.5 with the Lions more than I like any total in this game. So or across the board this week. So Lions 6.5, 4th leg for me. It just comes down to, I think you made a good point with the monkey getting off your back. I also think Tampa's just continuing to ride a little bit high. And that win last week, I think, was just as much about Philly quitting than it was about Tampa, exerting themselves. I mean, they played well, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, this Lions team is a little bit different. I think they'll hit them with a lot of offense. You see the Lions defense step up here and there. I think this is a game, sort of like we started against Denver. We were on the Lions on a Saturday night late in the year, and they just absolutely smoked Denver. Now, I know Tampa's better than Denver, especially on offense, but I just think you can see another one of those games. I think Detroit handles business here. They win the game. Anything under a touchdown is good. I would not take the Lions -7, so we are at the tipping point here.
Yeah,
just as a heads
7,
up.
I start to
7 is just a no play. It's just a no play for me. If it gets to 7.5, I might start to look at the Tampa side. So if you just want to see like how I'm playing this game, it's pretty close. I make the game 6.5 too. So I literally don't have a supporting number, but I'm going to play it, and I did play it. So give me the Lions -6.5. I like Gibbs. I like St. Brown to have a nice game here. I was surprised to see Sam Laporta on the field last week.
I thought he was going to be out.
I couldn't believe it when I saw him catching passes. I'm like,
and he looked decent.
Can we just you want to know what really concerns me here?
What?
Jared Goff concerns me. He was awesome in the first half, and then all of a sudden, the second half, they make adjustments, and he couldn't do a damn thing. Like 3 points in the second half of that game last week. Something to talk about. If teams make adjustments and you can't do anything, lucky to win that game last week. One of my losses was the Rams money line. I did have the Rams 4 times inside the 10, couldn't put it in the end zone. That is what it comes down to.
I was very
game.
Frustrated about the money line with the Rams last week. But hey,
same.
It was. I'd do it again. Honestly, the way that game went.
Yeah, 100%. But Lions 6.5 under a touchdown. Give me the Lions. Anything 7 or more. No play.
It is worth noting for this point total, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm seeing 94% of the money is on the over for
That's
this
correct.
one.
90,
Holy Lord.
85% of the tickets. Yeah, a lot
48 and a half, and that screams red flag to me, if you ask me.
Especially when it hasn't moved.
Well, the fact that the way that is, yeah, A, it hasn't moved, and B, 48 and a half is just like baiting you to take it's going to 50.
Yeah.
Take the 50. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like 94% of the money. Ugh. If that goes,
careful.
I'm gonna wait on that one and see where that point total goes.
Be careful.
If that inches closer to 50, I'm taking the under on that one. But right now, we're staying away from all these totals. We're just kind of
Totals are just
exchanging notes.
As we're talking, I'm seeing 51s pop in the market for San Francisco, Green Bay. Now I'm like, that's just a lot of points.
Well, you said it was going to go
I like it over, but I know, but we're just continuing to go up.
Yeah, I hit the over on the Rams and Lions last week, and that barely missed, but it missed.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you score 9 points in the second half combined.
Yeah.
After that first half, you were like, oh, cashing this.
Yeah.
Nope.
Any wrap-up thoughts on this matchup?
No, hate this game. See you next week, Dan Campbell, when the Niners beat you by 16. Bye.
Oh, man, I got to say.
Niners, Jared Goff, another guy who is a fraud against San Francisco. This is lined up so nicely for San Francisco.
Niners and Lions is going to be a hell of an NFC Championship game. That's going to be fun. I assume you know better than I, but what is Jared Goff like against the Niners?
Not very good. No, that's why they traded him. He's one of the reasons why they traded him. I mean, he did take them to the Super Bowl.
What do you think that spread would be?
Lions-Niners? I can tell you what I make it.
Okay. Let me guess.
Close.
Let me guess.
You can do it.
I'm going to guess 7.5 Niners.
I make the game 8. Yeah.
Got it.
-8.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a hell of a game. All right. So let's move ahead to the final game here. Sunday night-ish. It's 6:30 night. Yeah. I don't know. Evening.
A little evening. My lips bleeding profusely.
Your lips bleeding?
Yeah, look at it.
You're biting your lip because you love these picks so much?
I hate this pick.
Getting sexual on me, are you?
Let me do a little coffee rinse.
Let me just rinse my blood with a Dunkin's.
Dunkin's good for the blood.
Nice Dunkin's for the old blood.
Right into the bloodstream. I'll be wired.
You're literally injecting caffeine into your bloodstream.
Smart move. I'll be an electric. This last handicast will be great.
You got chapstick on you?
No, in the car.
Lips a little chapped.
Yeah.
Is that what's going on?
I haven't had water since like Friday because it was high noon weekend. A lot of gin and tonics on set. I ended up at Encore.
You sent me an interesting video, which when I received it, I was pretty drunk too.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of noise going on, so I couldn't fully hear what was going on, but you sent me a very drunk video.
I was hammered. I was at Encore drinking espresso martinis. Encore in Everett, Mass we're our Boston-based podcast, if you're not here. We have an Encore casino, so I drove down there at halftime of the Rams game.
Oh, good.
And ended up in Fratelli's, a very nice Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Smashing espresso martinis.
Oh, Jesus.
And just screaming like I was, an absolute maniac. But God almighty, do we cash that ticket? We had some fun. I would have liked the Rams money line to hit, but the best bets just continue to hit, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I would have been jubilant too.
A little jubilant. Like that.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. Chiefs, Bills. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing 2.5. I've seen this move to 3, favoring the Bills. Right now, at the moment, Wednesday afternoon, it is 2.5. Point total in this one is 45. That has come down, that point total, from opening at 46.5. Mm-hmm. Is this a weather game?
Cold. Yeah, I read today that Buffalo's a little worried about Sunday now.
It's going to snow all week there.
Well, it's Buffalo, so I mean that's just
it's literally nonstop snowing. But
crazy.
I didn't see snow in the forecast on Sunday, and who the hell knows?
Can't be any worse than last.
They can't postpone this game. Are you kidding me?
No way.
No chance.
They're playing.
Yep. I throw weather out the window, obviously, with the Kansas City Chiefs
and the Bills. They know how to
weather
play
does not matter.
This isn't going to matter.
I mean, maybe obviously with point total, and that's why you're seeing it come down a little bit here. But nonetheless, in terms of the actual spread, does not matter. That is why. Well, that's not why, but that's not why.
That
at all,
has absolutely
actually.
nothing to do with anything.
I'm trying to segue to my best bet, but I'm just going to say it. Give me the Buffalo Bills -2.5 here. I think this line is a joke. This line is an absolute joke if you look at how these teams have played this year. Have the Bills struggled this year? Yep. Have the Chiefs struggled this year? Yep. But who is the hotter team or more together right now? Who's clicking in all cylinders seemingly right now? It's the Buffalo Bills. It's not even close. It's not even close. Have you seen Travis Kelce the last 4 to 5 weeks? Did you see that drop he had last week?
Yep.
Holy shit. That guy is cooked.
Yeah.
That guy is absolutely cooked or hurt. Whatever it is.
Or swifted.
He is not, yeah, or whatever. Whatever it is, it's not good for the number one pass catcher for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he is no longer the number one pass catcher for the Kansas City Chiefs, by the way. That is now Rashee Rice, who has been an absolute stud. That being said, the Bills can take that away. Now, I understand that the Bills had a big loss last week in terms of Bernard there, Terrell Bernard. He was going under an MRI, but he was carted off the field, so it does not look good, obviously. So it's another loss for the Bills. But hey, they've overcome these injury losses all season. Buffalo beat Kansas City, as we all know, 20-17 on the road in Week 14. And there was a little play that kind of went viral in terms of the offside for Kadarius Toney there. Mm-hmm. But hey, keep in mind, if Kansas City actually scored, Buffalo had a minute left. Yeah. We've seen them come back against this Kansas City defense in the past. Mm-hmm. In under a minute, mind you. So Buffalo had time on the clock still. In that game, the Bills dominated in terms of time of possession. 35 minutes and 21 seconds as opposed to 24 minutes and 39 seconds. Mm-hmm. James Cook averaged 5.8 yards per carry. He's been pretty underwhelming the last few weeks, but I thought he had a nice bounce back game last week against the Steelers. I think this is going to be a nice game for him. I will note that Isaiah Pacheco was out for that game, and I love how Pacheco's been running on the latter half of this season. Mm-hmm. The Bills, they were 7-1 straight up and 7-1 ATS as a home favorite this season. Kansas City, they are 7-0-1 ATS and 6-2 straight up as a road underdog since Mahomes took over in 2018. So, I guess it's kind of a push, if you will. Call it a push with that. But this is Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs' first road playoff game.
Yep.
Correct?
Correct. Other than a Super Bowl neutral site.
This is a revenge game going back all the way to that AFC Championship game or divisional match, whatever it was, when Buffalo in that shootout. What was that?
Last year's game?
Was that last year?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the divisional round. That was the divisional round, right?
Yeah, because the Bengals.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is going to be your revenge spot. This is going to be probably one of the loudest, most hostile NFL environments in history, based on. There's no way of recording that, but this is the hungrier fan base. It's the hungrier team. They play well under pressure. Josh Allen seems like he's reined in his turnover issues, at least for 1 week. I'm taking the hungrier home team who is seeking revenge. Give me the Buffalo Bills -2.5. They will be advancing to the AFC Championship game. If I can get 2.5 for that team that I'm that confident in, I'll take that all day. Best bet, Bills -2.5.
All right, buddy. While you were doing that, when you went, I was looking up Terrell Bernard's ankle injury, and Sean McDermott actually said a positive update. There's hope, so he may play.
Okay,
not practicing, but he may play. We'll see.
Klein filled in admirably. By the way.
Yeah, he was fine.
Yeah, he threw the green helmet.
The one thing that worries me in this game, and I did back the Bills 2.5, supporting this, as you know, we talked about it. We're fully aligned here. Bills close to my best bet here. The one thing that really this worries me in this game is Patrick Mahomes looking at Klein, being like, "All right, buddy, this is a different animal than like Mason Rudolph." Yeah. So like, let's we just have to call that apart. Let's call it what it is. But now the one thing I just wanted to add here are a couple things. Mahomes 8-1 in his career as an underdog. Little scary to fade, but you mentioned the key point why I like Buffalo in this game,
and
it is they got this team at home in the playoffs for the first time in the Mahomes era,
Yep.
in the Josh Allen era. Like, this game means so much to Buffalo, and when are we going to talk about it? We've started to talk about Kansas City, just not that good. They're not good. Last week, little fraudulent. I'm sorry, you got the perfect storm of weather and Miami
Dolphins
in
didn't
that
show
game.
up. Dolphins didn't show up.
And you can still talk about it. You still didn't play that good. A lot of field goals. They scored 2 touchdowns. Like, they weren't that impressive. I mean, Miami was just historically bad on offense. But, like, I don't know here. I think this is a big Josh Allen game. The Bills have been a thorn in Kansas City's side in Arrowhead regular season games. Even coming up to, I think they played once in Buffalo. Buffalo took care of business. Like, Buffalo knows how to beat Kansas City when Kansas City's good. Now the teams are trending in different directions, in my opinion. I know Kansas City won last week. I'm not falling for it. I make the game 4. And, look, do I think they're going to blow out Kansas City? No, I do not. If you get under 3, you have to take the Bills. I understand why people are going to look at this and say, you're giving me points on Mahomes, give me the Chiefs. And I get it. I do. I fully understand why you would do that, why you would support that. But I'm here to tell you not to do that because this is just not that Kansas City team that you're used to seeing in January. Now they're on the road, like you said, for the first time in the Mahomes era. Super Bowls aside, neutral venue. This is full throttle maniac Bills fans. Terrible weather, probably at least it's going to be freezing. These people are built for this.
Yeah, you're going to see a ton of viral videos from Bills tailgate on Sunday. They're going to be there at 9 a.m.
Yeah, totally
drinking
crazy.
all day.
Totally crazy.
Whenever the gates open, they're going to be there, and they're going to be hungry. I'm telling you.
I think the Bills win this game. I do think it's a little bit close, so you might have to hold your nutsack. If you're a man, if you're a woman betting this, well,
it's going to be a nail biter.
You might have a nutsack, bro, and you'll hold it because it could be close. It's just, look, it's still Patrick Mahomes. I don't think the Kansas City offense is good enough to keep up with the Bills at home. Told you weeks ago, I supported the Bills to make a run right before that Dallas game, and I made the Bills my best bet. I said they're going to cover this game, going to win the game, cover the game, and they're going to start their march to the Super Bowl. And I'm still backing them. I believe in them. They've done everything. Like, I love the change they made. We begged this team to run the ball. They're running the ball. Whether it's James Cook, whether it's Josh Allen, you're going to start to see them. They preserved Allen a little bit in the middle of the season. Now he's going to start to use his legs. We saw it against the Steelers. Just another weapon for them. Give me the Bills. Anything under a field goal. We played it at 2.5 for the show.
So 3 is out for you then?
No, 3 is the last play.
Okay.
The value though at 2.5 is so large over 3.
Yeah, the 2.5 is juiced a little bit but still,
I made the game 4. So if if it got to 4, I'd be on Casey.
Just circling back to the field goal mention you had, Harrison Butker last week at 14 points. The week prior, which it doesn't really matter, throw that out because it was they rested everybody. Mm-hmm. So I'm not even gonna. It was 7 points, but it doesn't matter. With the Bengals, 19 points for Harrison Butker.
They're kicking a lot of field goals.
Kicking a lot of field goals there. They cannot pound it home in the red zone, it seems like.
They're struggling. And that alludes right to Travis Kelce.
Yep.
Travis Kelce's not scored since week 11.
And listen, it's been an emotional season for Travis Kelce. Like, with everything that's going on, he's been in the spotlight, and he's really, skyrocketed his celebrity and everything like that, obviously with Taylor Swift and everything. But now this week, his brother retires.
Yep.
I think this is a little emotional week, and maybe he's doing some self-evaluating for himself. So maybe he's going to be a little bit in his head. I don't know.
I mean, the way things have gone for him, it's not looked pretty. I'll say,
no,
he just looks
shitty.
Off. Even when he's still getting open, just not catching the balls.
No,
it's weird. I don't know. There's something off there.
I don't know if it's the yips or if he's hurt, but something's going on with Travis Kelce
team.
there. Yeah,
except
really,
Rice.
the whole team.
Right, you mentioned it. Rice is really
Rice
up,
and Pacheco.
Yeah, that's
Mahomes,
been the offense. Mahomes has still been good. I mean, let's not take anything away from him. He's the poor bastard's playing with guys that won't catch the ball.
They need to make another pretty close to elite-ish pass catcher their priority in the offseason.
Last thing I'll mention on this, it's tough to go back-to-back Super Bowls. It just is, right?
Yeah.
And I think you see that with Casey. They're not as talented as they were. They have a drop issue on offense. They've had it all year. Just feels like this is Buffalo's game to win. It's their spot. It's their time, at least for this game. We'll deal with next week. But I think Buffalo, good opportunity to win this game and cover this number.
I feel really good about this best bet. Honestly, I do. I feel very confident in this.
More confident than you were last week in that
equal confidence.
All right. Well,
equal confidence. Equal confidence.
I feel good about it too. I really do. Under 3, and you'll get under 3.
All right. Well, let's just recap our quad likes here, if you will. Texans plus 9.5. Niners -9 or 9.5. Lions -6.5. Hold your horses at 7.
Pump the brakes.
Pump your brakes there. Best bet for you, San Francisco -9, 9.5, by the way. And best bet for me, and a like for you, Bills -2.5 there. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this divisional podcast?
No. I like I said, like the card for a divisional weekend. Usually don't have 4 sides that I'm on.
Yeah.
And I feel pretty good about this week, actually.
Well, I would like to thank our audience for giving us our all-time high in terms of likes on YouTube last week.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah, very nice. So please do that again. Please give us a thumbs up on YouTube and subscribe. And, of course, like us. Give us a 5-star review. Leave a comment on Apple, Spotify. Real quick, leave a quick comment. Whatever you guys can do to help us, please do so. I appreciate that. And follow us, if you haven't done so already, on socials at Bettor in Laws. I'm Tuck Silva, joined alongside my brother-in-law, Matt Prisco. Matt, let's have a killer weekend like we did last week, shall we?
We shall. And just a note for the people, for the programming note, do have a personal thing going on next Wednesday, so the show will be recorded on Thursday next
That's
week. So
completely fine. We'll have the podcast out Thursday night. One day later next week for the AFC and NFC championship games, and maybe we'll have a guest for that one. Who knows?
Yeah, we're going to try.
We're gonna see what's going on there. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Good luck this weekend, and have fun watching all these matchups. Should be a much better weekend in terms of viewership for this coming weekend. Kind of a dud last weekend, but hey.
Disagree. Viewership was great. Just easy cashing.
Yeah, I mean, that part was great, but in terms of not betting, oof.
Yeah, tough.
Brutal. But hey, we're on to divisional weekend. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week, and we'll recap this and give you the NFC, AFC championship games next week. But good luck this weekend.